Take a seat. Mace said it better than I did. Ram might say it a little bit better. What's up, Battalion? We are back. It is time. It is time. The army for Mace. The rework is here. My crying little buddy over here, over Mace getting his rework. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's say, what's up, Ram? Oh,
what's going on?
Here we go. We're going to talk about remodding Mace. Nobody will know how to do it better than this fool over here. Oh my God. Welcome, RamBam. Also, and his stats and all of his, where you could reach him is down here as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and start getting into this. The brand new kit. I don't even want to read into it, but to be honest with you, I didn't even look at it till today. So Ram's mad at me. So we're gonna look at it.
Wow.
I haven't changed my mods. I haven't redone nothing for this guy. So I'm gonna talk to Ram and see what I gotta do, bro. All right. Deals special damage on his basic. Remember, basic assist. Everybody assists with a basic. Deals special damage to target enemy and inflict ability block for 1 turn. Popular with Jedi, actually. This attack deals bonus damage equal to 5% of Mace's max health. If Mace is above 50% health, he gains 15% turn meter. If Mace is below health, 50% health, he recovers health equal to 100% of the damage he deals. So everything screams what here, Ram?
Health.
Health.
100%.
Health. More health.
Health and more health.
Yeah, one of the easiest ones I think I've ever read in my life. So this one's pretty basic on a basic, huh? All right.
We have the KISS method for him. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right. Keep it simple, stupid. Deals special damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. If target enemy had shatter points, stun them for 1 turn and remove 50% turn meter, and then Mace gains 50% turn meter for himself. So we're talking about what here? We're talking about maybe a little potency adding in there, Ram. What do you think?
A little bit, yeah. It is a potency check. If they have shatter point, you definitely want to have just a little bit of potency. I've got a slight bit of potency secondaries on my Mace just to kind of help make sure that I can hit that stun and move that turn meter.
Yep, it's clutch. If he could be moving, turning, that's clutch. And a lot of turn meter with these Jedi teams specifically, depending on who you're running them with. Obviously, early game guys, you're doing JKR. You may get a Mace early on, whatever. But this guy could go many places, which we'll talk about as we get into the video. This party's over. Deals special damage to target enemy and call a target other ally to assist. If target enemy had shatter point and target ally is Galactic Republic, swap turn meter with the target ally. If target enemy had shatter point and target ally is Jedi, Mace gains 2 stacks of resilient defense for the rest of the encounter. Both Mace and target ally recover 30% protection. Keep in mind, under a JKR lead, they recover protection as well. So all the other Jedi tend to like protection. But go ahead, Ram.
Mm-hmm. No, so this is the first Zeta that he has, yep. And this is one of my highly recommended Zetas for him, simply because of the turn meter swap with that Galactic Republic. There's a lot of things you can do. You can kind of get a semi-turn meter train going with Grandmaster Yoda under a JKR team. JMK, you can swap turn meter with Cat and or Padme if you need to get a heal off or whatever the case is. The Zeta is actually pretty clutch.
So this is the versatility Zeta, where you can use it under just about every team that you run him under.
Yep. The resilient defense is also really, really nice. I'll keep my opinions to myself on the idea of resilient defense. But hey.
Yeah. I don't know about putting defense up on an offensive, what seems to be a wannabe offensive character. Take a seat, as we said in the beginning, but this is the leader ability. Jedi allies gain 20% max health and offense and recover 10% of their health when they score a critical hit. So of course, 20% of max health, if he's health mod, is going to be making him a lot thicker as well. And you said you trialed the leader.
I did. I don't see it being usable for the mid to end game players. Yeah. This is ideally because of how simple it is, and I mean, a lot of Jedi leaders have very complex leaderships. Because of how simple it is, this is one of the first characters you're going to unlock is Mace because of his capital ship. So this gives you a starting point for Grandmaster Yoda, Old Ben, Anakin, things like that. It gives you a starting point to have a Jedi team before you upgrade to Jedi Knight Revan, yep. Padme, JKL, things of that nature. So
I was looking at this
not
the
an
same exact way.
At endgame.
Yeah, I was looking at this the same exact way. Like Boba Fett early game, Van Seal pointed out, is a really good leadership, yep. But once he gets in end game, it's just there's just too many good leadership up top, and that's a good point. Absolutely. Before you get JKR. If you go the DR route first, This is actually really, if you think about that, 10% of their health when they score a critical hit. If you get some crits out there like on GMY, the whole team, or not the whole team, but that character getting their health back, GMY is squishy. So for him to get health back is clutch.
You give him, he's already squishy, GMY specifically, he's already squishy. You give him 20% max health and you give him 20% offense,
yeah,
he's going to be hitting like a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially beginning game. Might even help in the Galactic War when you're trying to get to that 50. All right, here's another Zeta.
Well, that's no longer needed, by the way.
What? Oh, is it gone?
50. Yeah, it's literally, you just hit 85.
Oh, sweet. I love it. All right,
85
well,
in sim.
Most of us take till 85 anyway. Mace gains 30% max health at the end of each turn. This is the second Zeta, by the way. At the end of each turn, if another ally with protection was damaged by an attack, that turn, Mace gains 3 more stacks of resilient defense, max of 8 for the rest of the encounter. If he has not gained resilient defense this way since his last turn, while Mace has resilient defense, he has plus 10% offense per stack and 100% counter chance. Whenever Mace gains taunt, he dispels it and gains 2 stacks of resilient defense. Resilient defense definition: enemies will target this unit, lose 1 stack when damaged by an attack. Kind of like Galactic Challenge, right?
Kind of, sort of. The Zeta obviously adds the counter chance and the increased offense. So this Zeta is in my opinion, the second Zeta that you should prioritize onto him. Being this party's over, being the primary one. Depending on what team you're trying to run them with, there's multiple teams, as we said, that you can run Mace with. So this one is very highly recommended as well. The resilient defense sounds nice. I don't like the fact that it's a dispellable buff, but it's just like taunt essentially. You can dispel it. You can put buff immunity on it to block it, but he can still gain resilient defense and obviously that counter chance and offense. You go back to looking at his basic, he's going to hit with that counter, he's going to gain that turn meter, and he's going to have a increased health when he does the damage on his basic. So
listen, you can't get a perfect Mace. You got to rework. Don't ask for much more. Gosh darn it. All right, what is it?
He is 150% better than what he was.
Sense weakness. Mace gains 30% offense at the start of Mace's turn. Dispels stealth on all enemies and a random enemy, excluding raid bosses and Galactic Legends. Is inflicted with speed down 1 turn and Shatter Point, which can't be evaded or resisted. Shatter Point is dispelled at the end of each ally's turn. When an ally damages an enemy with Shatter Point, all allies recover 10% protection, and all Galactic Republic and Jedi allies gain Foresight for 1 turn. Shatter Point receiving damage dispels Shatter Point and reduces defense, max health, and offense by 10% for the rest of the encounter. Enemies can ignore taunt to target this unit. Now, I'd like to point out, this Shatter Point is random to an enemy, so it can bounce anywhere, including the tank, so you can't go around the taunt. But if it's on somebody besides the taunter, you can attack that person.
The only exception is obviously Galactic Legends. It will not put it on Galactic Legends.
Right. What do you got on this one, Ram? Again, a Zeta.
No, I really like, so this is the Zeta and the Omni on here as well. I really like Shatter Point. I like the idea behind it. Again, it's a potency check. So you definitely want to make sure you have some potency secondaries, because from what I've seen is that defense, max health, and offense reduction on Shatter Point. The Shatter Point is not resistible, but the stat reducing things are. So definitely want to make sure you can stack up some potency on it. The protection regen is obviously really good. Foresight, that screams Qui-Gon Jinn to me. So 30% offense. A lot of what you guys see in this kit, when I talked with CG about the Mace kit, when they revealed it to me, they are not updating his stats. If you guys remember, Mace is a base game character. When this game came out in 2015, Mace Windu was at launch. So a lot of his stats are really, really outdated. So a lot of what you're going to see in this kit is he gains increased health, he gains increased offense, he does this increased turn meter. That's to help offset his speed, offset his offense, and offset his health that's already significantly reduced from current game characters, because they have upgraded kits and he doesn't. So that's what a lot of what this kit was trying to accomplish, was to kind of even out and bring up his stats to current level. The Shatter Point is hugely good. It is only on Mace's turn unless you have the Omni and you're in TW. If you are in TW, it has the chance to obviously, speaking for a JMK mirror, you could theoretically, if you can get out faster ahead of the enemy cat, the Shadow Point could land on the cat and you can eat cat before she even doesn't annihilate. So getting randomized, but the fact that it can go to any light side allies gives it a multitude of teams, CLS, Rey, Padme. I mean, you name it. A lot of teams are going to benefit from that Omni. But overall, I really like this ability.
So the Zeta's sort of early game character in particular, is there a Zeta that's actually worth? Now, you got to think. I know you're a big fan of Mace. You're biased here. Do we put a Zeta on him early game?
Early game, 100%. If you are going to be using him anywhere, if you're looking at early game, I would say the Vapod Zeta is probably your best Zeta because of that increased counter chance and the increased offense per stack of resilient defense. And you think about it, anytime someone gets hit, which he's the tank, he wants other people to get hit so that he can gain that resilient defense and force them to attack him. Anytime they get hit with the protection, he's going to gain that resilient defense. And so allowing him to dish out punishment as well as take the punishment, I think that Zeta is very crucial at the beginning game. And then followed on by this part is over. I think Sense Weakness is actually probably the weakest Zeta out of all three of them.
Yeah, that's what you said originally. But I know there's a difference between beginning game and end game. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into the mods, Ram. So let's go over the recommendations that are in game right now. I'm not 100% sure this is updated to the new Mace window, but currently they usually update within 48 hours. So I'm going to assume it is. It depends on how many people have remodded. I have not remodded him, but I already had health mods on him because he was useless before. So, yeah, I said it, Ram. Right now, they're saying that 53% of sets are being done all health. Second, 7% is health defense. So it's screaming health. And me and Ram both agree with this recommendation for what they're using in the top end guilds. Health on the triangle is 37%, overwhelming 39% on the cross, 56% on the circle, and then speed is a recommendation of 67%. But Ram wants to challenge this arrow.
So speed is obviously a high recommendation for any character, right? The reason why I suggest going health is because depending on what team you're putting him under, for instance, and a lot of what I'm talking about, I can speak on the end game because that's where I currently reside, is the end game player base. If you're running him with Starkiller, you're running him with JMK, speed does not necessarily matter as much because they already get increased speed from those characters. And specifically in a Starkiller, he's already getting that turn meter. So again, you don't necessarily need the speed. Whereas that health, if you mod him a certain way, you can get to around 145,000 health or so, somewhere in that area, which then allows you to, with his 30% increased health, get somewhere in the ballpark of around 185,000 health. Then you add that onto any other character that these GLs like to give out max health bonuses, or Starkiller gives out max health bonuses, things like that. It's not impossible to see a Mace with 300 to 400,000 health, and that's just health. That's not including the protection.
Yeah.
So because of how his kit is with all the turn meter gains and the inherent speed bonuses from a lot of Jedi leaders that you're going to run him with, I don't feel that speed is super crucial compared to the health.
That's a good thing. Mine's only running 186 before I remod him.
If you need the speed, by all means, right? Yeah. If you're trying to hit a speed mark, what I would shoot for, and I mean this is like in my opinion, a god mod. Get a 25 or higher speed secondary, health primary arrow. Yeah. If you can find one of those and you put that on him, you're golden, because now you're hitting the wicket of a good speed mod. Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of people won't roll, and they don't realize that you can get like crit avoidance arrows and different things like that by getting a secondary speed mod rolling high. I've got some goofy ones, but just to get that speed, you're only losing 7 speed off of the top of that arrow and getting a really good stat. So his mastery, Ram, is increases critical avoidance, protection, and resistance, which is interesting considering he is a health mod guy. But under like Jedi lead, a lot of Jedi leads protection, they get bonuses off of protection. So I wouldn't discount the protection either. But everything here screams tank, while he's got a lot of offensive stats with this new kit.
Well, so you know, a little lore behind this. The reason why I love his kit now compared to what it was is because before it was he's a tank but he doesn't taunt, right? now it is they're acknowledging that his stats are geared towards tank, which they can't really change because of his mastery, because of the relics, because of all the in-game code that would revolve around changing his unit from a tank to an attacker, like he should be in lore. He was always an attacker. But what I like about this is it forces you to target him, essentially, if you can't get around the resilient defense, forces you to attack him, but then it acknowledges that he is the hard-hitting bad mother that we all know.
Oh, there went YouTube. Demonetized. Thanks, Ram.
Damn it. He punishes you for attacking him with that increased offense and the counter chance. So I really like the direction that they went with this kit. The idea behind it really made sense to me.
How do you feel about me having protection mods, primaries on every one of my mods right now? They're all health, but they got protection.
Why'd you do that? No.
Listen, he's modded from the day I opened him, man. I haven't touched him since. That's what I'm saying. Star Wars Galaxy Heroes is such a great game, but it's so complicated. But this guy was absolutely useless before. He was useless. So
now he's not.
Now I got to start. Investing in it. But yeah, I've got 80,000 protection. I've got too much protection on him right now.
And I know you specifically. You have JMK. I actually would not run this guy under JMK.
Yeah, that's what
I would actually. I actually like quite GK under JMK in this instance, and I would put Mace under, let's say, Qui-Gon or Padme or a JKR team. Or if you have JML, I know you don't, but for the people that do have JMLs, Mace goes pretty solid in there as well.
I ask everybody this. So Zeta priority we already talked about. Here we go. Relic priority, 1 to 10. He's got a ship,
1 to
which
9?
usually I recommend. What do you mean 1 to 9? No, 1 to 10. Perfect 10 is
it's only
10.
9 relic levels. Oh, okay.
Relic priority. Do you even listen to me? Priority. What is his priority to relic him?
His ship is utterly useless, so I would not even factor that in. You heard it here first.
Yep.
I do not like his ship. I never have, never will. Not until they rework it, and they'd have to do a pretty damn good a job of it. I would say because of his crucial status as a Jedi tank, and a lot of these teams at the mid to late game need a Jedi tank specifically, I would say I'd probably a 6 or 7. Get him up to mid relics. I'm not saying relic 8, relic 9. I'm not saying that. But I would say around relic 5.
Well, the minute you go from gear 12 to 0, relic 0, argue me that one. It's a relic level. You get all the boosts. You get the health boost from the relic level. You get the speed boost.
You don't get the health boost.
So you do get a health boost. What are you talking about?
No, you do not.
What are you talking? Ram, all relic levels get a health boost. Look at health.
No, you don't.
77 to 10,700 with the next one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
we'll argue this.
Okay, that's fine. We'll argue it off stream, but I'm telling you right now, me and Dagger discussed this. So I know I'm right. All right, for me, the relic priority, I agree with you. It's kind of low. It's around the 5-6 side until you actually get usable Jedi to make him worthy, and you need a second tank. I think the minute you need a second tank, you can't use Kenobi. You gotta get a second one. Is when his priority kicks in. For me, what about his speed minimum?
So that really just depends on what team you're going to run him with. If you're going to run him with a Padme, his speed minimum becomes a little bit higher priority because obviously there's no turn meter gain in that team. Same with JMK. But if you're running him under JKR, there's a lot of turn meter that he's passing around. So it really just kind of depends on what team you're planning on running him with. I currently have mine around 230 speed, but I also run him in a team that allows him to gain that turn meter. And so I don't really think that he super needs it. I'd say maybe go for like a 260, 270 if you're going to run him in a team that blocks the turn meter gain. Because that way, obviously, you can get him out there a little bit faster, get him out there dispelling the buffs, and more shadow points that you can inflict, the better.
But for me, I'm going to put him at a speed 200 till he hits the relic levels. And I'm going to put him at a minimum of 230 to get him motoring. But again, this character is new. We got the new kit. We got the new Ami. There's a lot to this guy we don't know, but as I've always said, this is a good starting point. If you don't know how to mod your characters, here's the information you're looking for. So Mace has got his rework. Ram is smiling like a cheesy little kid in a candy store. I'm irritated because I never hear the end of it. But in the meantime, thanks for joining me, Ram. It was superior, and you guys, you know what to do. Let's hook us up. Hit that button. We made the 1,000. We're not quite monetized because I haven't finished that, but we're getting there. Not that it matters. In the meantime, we are stuck with Mace, and we are one battalion strong. Attaboy.
Shut up and sit down.